In August 1997, Apple was facing bankruptcy. They were in a huge financial loss and was about to fall. This is when Bill Gates, then CEO of Microsoft, did something unexpected. Bill Gates bailed out Apple by investing $150 million. In addition to this, he provided them with the Office suite for Mac OS at Microsoft's expense because Apple was not in a position to develop its operating system and spreadsheets at the same time. Steve Jobs responded to this by saying, Bill, thank you. The world's a better place. Now, we all know top level businessmen do not just go and help their competitors out, right? There should be some motive behind it. Let's see the possible reasons for Microsoft helping Apple. First, Microsoft and Apple were never competitors. Yes, they had common interests, but the customer base is entirely different. Apple was more into hardware, while Microsoft were more into software. Second, we already saw that Microsoft developed Office Suite for Mac. Now, Microsoft, by selling this Office Suite to Mac customers, they made way more money than one can imagine. Third, Microsoft was at that time being investigated by Department of Justice for monopolistic allegations. Microsoft badly needed to show they are not a monopoly, or in other words, they are not the only one in the business. Now, the fourth and the final reason is actually more twisted and dark, and we have to see this in detail. Before that, please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. So, now back to our story. To understand this final reason, we need to go way back to 1991. In 1991, Apple released a little software called QuickTime Player. This QuickTime Player put Apple far ahead of Microsoft as far as multimedia on desktop was concerned. Over the next few years, CD-ROM and DVD were developed and multimedia industry grew big. This is when Apple decided to make QuickTime Player compatible with Windows. Apple outsourced this work to a company called SFC or San Francisco Canyon. We call it SFC in short. At the same time, Intel also hired the same company, SFC, to develop Microsoft for Windows. In short, we call it as VFW, Microsoft Videos for Windows. So, this Video for Windows, VFW, was a direct alternative to QuickTime Player. Now, this is where it all gets super interesting. Apple discovered that SFC has included a great number of codes used in QuickTime Player into VFW. Basically, SFC has stolen codes from Apple's QuickTime Player and incorporated into VFW, which is being used as Microsoft Player. Now, as expected, Apple sued SFC in 1994. This is when Microsoft decided to play dirty. Every OS manufacturer releases their beta version first to developers so that they can develop their app to be compatible with the new OS. This is a common industry practice. But Microsoft withheld this beta version of Windows 95 from Apple, and Apple could not update their QuickTime Player for the new Windows operating system. This made QuickTime non-compatible to Windows 95 when Windows 95 got released. So Windows 95 users would have no option other than VFW Player. By this time, Court has ordered Microsoft to remove the stolen codes from VFW. This is a blow to Microsoft, and Microsoft did not like it. They threatened to cancel Office Suite for Mac. This is when Steve Jobs returned back to Apple. So Steve Jobs was a visionary and a clever businessman. He knew that a lot of Mac apps like Adobe PageMaker heavily relied on MS Word. Also, a lot of potential Mac customers might not opt for Mac or might not buy Mac if it did not support MS Office. If Microsoft cancelled the Office suite for Mac, it would affect Apple's business very badly. Apple was also not in a good financial shape to face this. So, Steve Jobs decided to go for a settlement, which is Apple would drop all the lawsuits against Microsoft, including the one against SFC. And all Mac systems will have Internet Explorer in the bundle as a default browser. That means all the Mac systems by default will have Internet Explorer. Now, in turn, Microsoft agreed to continue developing Office Suite and various developer tools and software for Mac for the next 5 years. So, 5 years Microsoft is going to develop all softwares for Mac. And in addition, as we said before, Microsoft would be investing $150 million into Apple. Now, this $150 million by itself was not enough to save Apple. It's not that big amount that Apple could be saved by this. It was more a symbolic gesture. What this investment actually did was to increase the confidence of other investors and developers. These developers are very important because they were developing apps like PageMaker, Photoshop, etc. for Mac. Also, this gave Apple enough time to develop their products like iMac and iPod. Actually, this iMac and iPod are the products which saved the company. Till then, Apple was in loss. So, what we see from this case study, instead of saying that Microsoft saved Apple, we can say that Microsoft played a dirty game where it saved itself from monopolistic allegations and lawsuits while making billions from MS Office for Mac. This is for today. Let's meet again in another video. Signing off, Prabhu Vijay.